the new business and markets we've started. Here's the opening bell on Frontier. Opening bell Monday the 27th. And technically, we've entered the final days of the month of March. And that's the end of the first quarter on Friday. Keep that in mind. Let's get started. The Cairo stock market started the week on Sunday with a very hefty 2.4% upside on the Egyptian market, printing just close to 16,000 reading. The Johannesburg stock market finished in the red 1.18% on Friday on the back of global concerns about whether there's a global banking crisis just emerging on the back of the SVB. Two other banks in the US, Credit Suisse, talks about Deutsche Bank in Germany. All of that kept investors a little bit nervous, and how all this crisis will impact earnings from the big banks around the world in the current year, 2023. So the emerging markets and frontier markets, such as the GSE, got a bit of that nervousness into its trading day. So we saw the GSE a little around 74,695 on Friday. The Nigerian market finished the week soft 0.06% on Friday, a bit of a profit-taking in the way the market's putting the elections behind it and the whole issues around politics and transition to power, and the whole new Naira redesign crisis out. The investors are looking for a new catalyst to get the market up and running. We've got earnings from the big banks yet to be released. So perhaps that could feed into the market sentiments to the upside for the Nigerian market as we look at the end of the month of March into the first week of April. The BRVM fell by 7 basis points, a bit of a sell down, 203.38. And the Nairobi stock market eked out 0.02%. Those huge gains begin to narrow down slightly, but the NSE is holding it above the 110.9 reading on the Osher index when we went for the weekend. So let's just put all that behind us and take a look at what's the economic, investment, finance, and business headlines. Kenya, the bank's lending and deposit rate margins were down to 5.3% according to latest data, while Diageo is looking to raise its equity stake in East African breweries listed on the Kenyan markets and a few bourses on the region to about 65%. And the DRC has handed KCB Group as well as the Equity Group their most juicy business market in East Africa, and that is in DR Congo, outside the Kenyan market. Both organizations are boots on the ground. Report says KCB Group is looking to employ additional 2,500 staff to ramp up operations both in Kenya and in DR Congo, one of the largest economies and the most populous country on the African continent, sub-Saharan Africa. The countries within the Central African Republic says they want to dump the CFA franc, close their central bank account with the France in Paris, and join the incoming West Africa eco currency. How that will play out is anyone's guess. The CAR, the 7 countries, or about 8 countries that made up the Central African Republic, want to take Paris off their back and join their colleagues in West Africa using a single currency, which will be the ECO. Still early days. Let's see how it all goes. Let's check in with the West African markets where Nigeria's Naira scarcity begin to ease off a little bit over the weekend, with banks paying the old 200, 500 and 1,000 Naira notes to customers via ATMs and in the banking halls. The scarcity is yet to completely evaporate, but the central bank kept all the banks open over the weekend. Saturdays and Sundays, all bankers were at work, ensuring that all systems go into action and ensuring that from today, Monday, starting a new week, the scarcity and the long queues that you've seen on television, seen in the news, will begin to evaporate. And Ghana power companies are looking to reject the restructuring of $1.4 billion debt that they are owed by government agencies and parastatals. They want their money right now on the table. And Chad says it has nationalized all assets of ExxonMobil in the country as part of the whole political troubles that the country north of Nigeria is playing right now with the military junta and all of that issues there. Chad is going through a whole lot of political mess in the manner of speaking, and part of that is nationalizing assets of ExxonMobil doing exploration in the country. Exports from Senegal to the West African Monetary Union, which is the French-speaking West Africa, was up 18% last December to close the year 2022. Backward-looking data, but of course you can use that anytime you want to reference. So South Africa, who has this week to decide on interest rates. That's coming through Thursday to Friday. So the most advanced economy on the continent will likely hold rates according to some expectations. But again, let's see how the SARB will decide on the back of inflation that went up to 7% last month. And by what basis points will the SARB, Mr. Kenyango and the rest of his team will decide. You got about 3-4 days to wait for that decision. In the meantime, Zambia's central bank has okayed the merging and acquisition of Atlas Mara, which is owned by which owns the African Banking Corporate Accord, which is the ABC in Zambia, with Access Bank merger that has been approved back in 2022. The Central Bank of Nigeria and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa's a commission approved the merger between the two banks. That will raise the stake of Access Bank of Zambia within the Southern African country. That's the Zambian unit of Access Bank of Nigeria PLC. Outsurance in South Africa is looking out of South Africa to enter the insurance market in Ireland. And Hatu has started Zimbabwe's lithium. I beg your pardon, that's a Chinese company, started lithium production in Zimbabwe and is investing also in a similar project in Namibia. South Africa is working on its strategic deficiencies to get the country removed from the grey list of the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, which happened just last month. Let's get on to see what the rest of the markets and economics news looks like in North Africa. Egypt reporting T-bills and bonds outstanding balances around 4.4 trillion local currency in the month of February. That's according to the Ministry of Finance. Egypt is looking to get that deal with the IMF sorted out with the World Bank anytime soon. The IFC and Egypt's Commercial International Bank are looking to partner to work on climate-related financial risks within the North African country, while Morocco and Cambodia are expanding cooperation and signing an air connectivity deal between Cairo and Cambodia. And that's a long haul, if you ask me, between North Africa and Asia Pacific. Then you look at Arab Bank of Tunisia has appointed a new managing director. Moez Slimen is the new managing director and CEO of the bank, listed on the Tunisian Stock Exchange. And we say congratulations and welcome aboard, Moez, into the Tunisian top hierarchy of the bank. That's about it for today. You can watch this show again if you go online on our YouTube. Front Africa Reports is free. You can subscribe. And of course, go on our website and you can watch all our other shows to read up on some of the stories we curate for you and follow our live streaming anytime we put them up there. Thank you so much. Follow us on social media as well. I'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone, and bye for now.